Hello, guys. I have an exam tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
I may be asked how was the definition of natural boundaries changing my time. There is no info in the internet. Could you help me if you can, please?
What does he need to do? Define natural
But
boundaries?
he's got an exam tomorrow, which is Friday, because a couple of days, yesterday or the day before, he said, "Hey, I got an exam coming up in 2 days."
Yeah.
Okay. Um, I guess part of his exam is the definition of natural boundaries changing by time. There's no info in the internet. Could you help me if you can, please?
Natural boundaries changing by time. I mean, here's the thing with most exams, what they teach on is like what they test on is what is in the textbooks that they're teaching. Like, it's not really a process in thinking; it's a process of memorization. Most exams. So, for that kind of question to come up, the answer is not to look on the internet; it's to look at the course notes.
Because how could they test you on something they didn't teach you?
Or is it in the textbook somewhere? Like that, you need to give the textbook. They want the textbook answer. They don't want you to think and give an insightful answer. They want you to give the textbook answer. So what was the textbook answer? And if you don't know, maybe you ping one of your friends who's in the class to say, hey, how do we answer this question? Because whatever Zanner I say is probably not what the teacher wants.
Yeah, because I'm thinking something totally different. That's got nothing to do with that. When you talk about the definition of natural boundaries changing by time, I'm thinking something totally different that probably has nothing to do with what you're studying. The thing is, everyone struggles with this question in my class, and the teacher wants us to think. So all we have is natural boundaries rely on natural frontiers as mountains, rivers, seas. Huh. Okay. Well, here's my answer, okay? And I don't think it's going to be the right answer. He says, and they consider it to be unreachable. Well, go back to how the earth, I'm trying to think, it's on the tip of my tongue, the word, but go back and look at how the earth, there was a time if you look at the world map, there was a time all the countries was connected. That's how humans traveled and spread all over the earth. But then there were some shifts underground where everything started shifting. Now you see, we got 7 continents, but there was a time all the continents were together. So go back and that's my answer. Go back and study how that phenomenon happened where now they all are separate.
What was is it a geography class? Like, what was your initial question?
About boundaries. And now he's going more into how natural boundaries and natural frontiers and mountains and rivers and seas.
But is it a geography class? Is it a history class?
Yeah.
I don't get the. What was the original? There might be a clue. This is fun. This is like we're playing. we're detectives. Yeah. Listen, this is it. This is what coaching is. What was the original language again? What was the first question?
Because he's going more on, but it's not.
No, I know,
okay.
But what's the original? I want the original question.
Okay, it says, "Hello guys, I have an exam tomorrow, and I may be asked how the definition of natural boundaries changing by time. There is no info in the internet." So if he says natural boundaries changing by, okay, so over the period of time, how do our natural boundaries end up being where they at?
So it's got to be like a history class or a politics class or a geography class or something like that. Like, why would you care if boundaries change? Natural boundaries. I mean, it's a political thing, right? It's like, no, something moved, right? Or the mountain isn't there anymore, or the river took a different direction, and that used to be our boundary. And what's the impact on our country? What class is it? That will help.
Yeah.
What's the class? It's got to be. It's got to be politics. I'm thinking history or politics or something. History or like otherwise, why would you care?
Well, yeah, because my only answer I can think of is the tectonic how all that the tectonic plates are that shifted. But again, that may not be it. That's what I said. So okay, so now he's saying okay, and they consider to be unreachable. So he says political geography.
There you go. Okay, political geography. Okay, so this would be more like if the river, if the boundary between two countries was a river, and then the river dried up or the river changed courses or something, does it change the boundary? And people fight all the time. Countries fight all the time over what their boundary is.
Right.
There was a great series on Vox YouTube called Borders for a while, where he went to different countries and just looked at the border situation and where people disagreed on what the borders were. Okay, so political geography. This is fun. I like this. This is not the usual question.
Good.
So political geography. Well, we lost that first game, so it's not Drew's fault.
Drew's fault because he wasn't here.
Yeah, today we needed Drew. We needed Drew today. We needed Drew to help carry us, so we lost that first game. So we're not off to a good start. Okay, let me see. Can I read it again? The definition of natural boundaries changing by time. You need to know how was the definition of natural boundaries changing by time? Oh, how was the definition? So is there anything different in boundaries? I mean, the first one that comes to mind is the airspace. Like, people didn't care about airspace before. It didn't mean anything, but now airspace means a lot.
Right.
Who has the rights? Now thinking about space, right? Who has the rights to space? Well, everybody, but now they're thinking of regulating it. There's so many satellites. Elon Musk just launched all of his satellites, and some of the governments are now concerned that there's too much private sector in space, too much space junk. Who owns the right to the moon? Or who owns the right to Mars when they land there? Who owns that stuff? The concept of the International Space Station. That's the first one that comes. If you're talking about how it's changed, because 200 years ago, nobody cared about that. Nobody was thinking about going to the moon.
Right.
Yeah, that's the first thing that comes to mind. I don't know enough about the minor changes in boundaries between countries, but oceans have always been there, and
they even
mountains.
have boundaries of oceans now. Like, you over here in our part of the ocean, China, like over in, I guess, the Philippines, their part. So they're going back and forth over there too.
Well, they might have a disagreement over who owns what piece. Although there are, like, China. So there's a big debate right now in Asia, and it's China, and I forget the other country. It might be Philippines. It might be a bunch of them. China is building land in the sea.
Right.
Like, think about if any of this is kind of resonating, that you've heard something related to this, Makar, in your classes, because this is a big political geography issue right now, where China is building land that was water, and they're basically just dumping in land, dumping in dirt, and building up these islands to say, this is not international waters anymore. We own it. It's land. Right. And so they're shifting the boundaries because that land didn't exist before. So that's what I would think of for political geography. That plus evolving of airspace and space.
Yeah, even Tessa Marie says Dubai was also built that way. But I think that land belonged to Dubai.
I don't know if that caused a political geography issue, because I think it was already they've created a lot of land, but it was already within the country. But maybe there were. I don't know enough about that, to be honest. Maybe there were situations where they encroached on somebody else's land.
Even on a micro level, people do this. Neighbors do this. Well, no, this is my fence and this is my line. You're crossing over.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Listen, if Zan's neighbor encroaches on his land, you got to look out. He's not giving you no mercy. He wants justice.
My goodness.
Don't go building your fence on my side of the property. Are you kidding me?
He says, also, I know the ancient Greece used to capture territories restricting by rivers and seas because it's easier to control the territory.
They what? They captured a river?
He captured. He said ancient Greece captured territories restricting by rivers and seas because it's easier to control the territory.
Oh,
But that's similar to
maybe. I
what
mean,
Evan
how do you
already
know
said.
that? Did they teach it to you in the class?
Yeah, where'd you get your information from, Makar?
Because if they taught you in class, maybe that's the answer.
You said the poke is real. Good pick.
What? The poke is yeah. The poke is real. The poke is real.
The poke is real. Yeah, Makar, did they teach you that in class? He said, yeah, in class. See, there you go.
Well, there's your answer.
My goodness. How us going all the way around?
Oh man, that's
Dude.
it. That's what they want. It's what.
Come on, man. He said, so what is the difference between now and then? Well, you know.
What did they teach you in
different
class?
and different generations change different laws and stuff.
But think, what did they teach you in class about this? Because that's the thing. My mind goes to space. You imagine you're gonna go on your exam tomorrow and type in space, and what they want is ancient Greek, right? This is why, like, they're not actually testing your thinking. They want you your memorized answers.
He says, to your answer, he says nothing about now.
Yeah, but that's what you got to figure out. You got to think back. The ancient Greek one was great. Now you gotta recall some more of what you talked about in class.
Exactly. Test just gave you your answer right there, Makar. Ancient history, there was no rules. Everything was like the Wild Wild West. Then and now we have rules. Because even in America, there was the Wild Wild West. Then they start coming up with rules to try to, not just control people, but control behavior and have more of a civil society.
Hey Tess, I was thinking about you. As you asked your first question, I just remembered now too. There was a guy on my Instagram yesterday who said, "How do I respond to people who tell me? I tell them my plans, and their response is, God doesn't want you to do that."
Ooh.
How do you respond? I respond with, "Not my God. My God wants me to do great things."
Yeah.
Right? Like what you're speaking for what God wants me to do with my life when I'm trying to serve? Right? Not my God. No
Who are
way.
these people?
What are we talking about?
Yeah. Who are these people?
Yeah, if you watch my IG story, I posted it, I do my Q&A at the end of the day, right? It still might be up, actually, if you want to go watch it. It'll expire probably around 10 o'clock tonight or something. Yeah.
Drew said sound like they need better friends.
Yeah, but I mean,
Terry Thompson, he says, God wants you to believe.
Right? I don't know who would say that, but I mean, that's what people do.
Charming Fox just popped up. Okay, what's up, Charming Fox? He jumps in on, I guess he listens to the discussion and he jumps in. So he says, I disagree. Ancient civilizations had so many rules, you could be killed for the stupidest things. Okay. All right.
The answer that Makar needs is, well, what did you talk about in class?
Exactly.
Because I would go and write space, and I'd have a great answer for it, and the teacher would give me a 0. Because that's not what we talked about in class.
Yeah, Makar, he said you could tell me what the rules mean. Makar, all your answers are in the book. We already taught you what it is. You're asking us to guess and give you an answer, and you go to class and use that answer, and now you failed. You got the book. We don't have it. He said something that was interesting. Oh, it is going to be talkative exam, just me and the examiner.
Ooh.
Examinator. I think he might have an issue of communicating, of talking his thoughts.
That's actually pretty cool. I wish I had more exams like that where I could talk to people.
So it's more of an oral exam.
Yeah. That's epic. I like it.
So I think you have more of an issue of how you're going to say what you need to say. Study what it is you need to say, practice in front of the mirror, and say it. Makar said, why is talkative tests it's better. I guess he means Evan.
Oh, that may not be better for you. It's better for me. One, I'm just going to be a nice person, which already gives you an advantage. Like you're still, remember, you're dealing with a person here. They decide. Why are they doing oral? Because they don't just want. They want some kind of interaction. They want to see what else you're going to give them.
Yeah.
So it's still up at the end of the day, up to somebody to decide. Somebody's
how well do you-
subjective call.
Yeah.
It's subjective,
Yeah.
which is great. Because if you're a good human, you're a nice person, you can win people over.
And they might also may be looking for. You remember you said the teacher wants you to think. They also may want to see where's your character. What are your thoughts about how people invade other people's boundaries, a whole 9 yards, which is going to be a reflection of you. Is that okay with you, or is that wrong? So maybe they're trying to get more of an assessment of your character, who you really are.